Good evening. Thanks for joining me this Monday on 7Edition. I'm Helena Krishnamurthy and these are tonight's top stories. Tour company Thomas Cook folds, leaving 600,000 tourists stranded. Condominium shootout leaves 4 criminals dead. And former 1MDB CEO takes the stand to testify in Najib's 1MDB trial. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. In Selangor, 4 armed men who were believed to have robbed a house in Taman Segar Perdana Ceras were shot dead by the police in a shootout at a condominium in Cyberjaya. State Police Chief Datuk Nur Azam Jamaluddin said 3 of them were locals identified as S. Sritaran, R. Balakrishnan and Mr. M. Ganesh, aged 35, 45 and 29 respectively. At a media conference today, Datuk Nur Azam said police are still trying to ascertain the identity of the 4th suspect. It was revealed that at around 6 a.m., the 4 suspects broke into a house at Taman Segar Perdana and escaped with cash, valuables and a black Mercedes.
Okey, selalu samun dalam rumah, dia selalu berlaku di awal pagi. Kumpulan dia antara 4 hingga 5 orang. Dia akan masuk dalam rumah. Dia akan rompak, ikat penghuni rumah dan melarikan kereta.
The victim had lodged a police report before the Selangor Police contingent ordered the Criminal Investigations Department to hunt for the suspects. The team located the victim's car at a ground floor parking lot at Sky Park Condominium in Cyberjaya around 9:30 a.m. When they approached the Mercedes, a man armed with a machete suddenly alighted from a Volkswagen Passat parked next to it and then tried to attack the police. At the same time, the other suspects fired shots at the officers. The police team ran for cover and in self-defense returned fire at the suspects, killing them all at the scene. Authorities also recovered the stolen items in the Mercedes. Elsewhere in Pahang, a woman was shocked to discover the body of a newborn baby boy in a women's toilet at the Kuantan Central Terminal this morning. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Nur Yusof Ali said the baby's body was found submerged headfirst in the toilet bowl. According to authorities, the public washroom located on level 1 of the bus station had been closed since Thursday for maintenance work. The witness said she went into the bathroom and seeing the toilet bowl covered, she proceeded to flush it. But the toilet started overflowing with red-coloured water, which was believed to be a mix of water and blood. She then called the cleaner for help, which led to the shocking discovery. Muhammad Noor added CCTV footage showed a female carrying a bag entering the bathroom at 5:58 a.m. Police are now looking for the suspect and are urging anyone with information to come forward. The baby's body has been sent to Hospital Tengku Ampuan Afzan for post-mortem. Under the Penal Code, concealment of birth by the secret disposal of a dead body carries a maximum 2 years jail, fine or both upon conviction. A teenager believed to be a Ketum leaf seller died after the Proton Wajah he was travelling in crashed into a lorry in Tanah Merah, Kelantan early this morning. Police said the car filled with Ketum leaves was driven by a 33-year-old man who sustained injuries in the crash. According to District Police Chief DSP Suzaimi Mohamad, the Proton Wajah was turning right at the Yap Bun Yam intersection before ramming into the oncoming lorry from Jalan Padang Siam. This caused the lorry to tip over on its side, but both the driver and his attendant escaped unhurt in the 5:50 a.m. incident. However, 16-year-old Muhammad Laamrullah Muhammad Sapura from Kampung Kubodatu in Jeli was not as lucky. He died on the spot while the driver suffered a broken leg. The victim's body was sent to the Tanah Merah Hospital for post-mortem. An investigation into the Ketum leaves is also underway. Malindo Air stated today that 2 former employees of its e-commerce contractor were responsible for its recent passenger data breach. Both individuals were from Gokua, Malaysia, Sendirian Berhad, in its development center in India, and were found to have improperly accessed and stole the personal data of Malindo Air customers. In a statement today, the carrier said the finding was the result of the probe conducted on the incident. The data exposure has since been contained, while an auto reset of all customer passwords has also been initiated. The breach was made public last week after a report showed that the details of around 30 million passengers of Malindo and Lion Air were posted in online forums. On to the Datuk Sri Najib Razak's One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB trial. The Kuala Lumpur High Court heard today that Jolo had direct access to the former Prime Minister. The state investment firm's former CEO, Datuk Shahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi, told the court that he had observed himself, especially while he was working at the Terengganu Investment Authority Berhad, TIA, how Low can contact Datuk Sri Najib directly at multiple occasions. In his first appearance at Datuk Sri Najib's trial, Datuk Shahrul Azral testified that Low had acted as advisor to TIA from the early days of its inception, although he was only appointed formally as advisor on April 8, 2009 through a resolution issued by TIA. Datuk Shahrul Azral, the 9th prosecution witness in the former Prime Minister's trial, explained that during TIA's Board of Directors meeting, Low can directly contact Datuk Sri Najib to ask for his views and guidance on matters discussed. The court also heard from Datuk Shahrul Azral that requests made by Low on several occasions on behalf of Datuk Sri Najib in reference to big decisions concerning 1MDB operations were consistent with feedback from the former Prime Minister. He also said that he was certain that it was Datuk Sri Najib who gave Low the mandate to manage the operations of TIA and later 1MDB through talking points and action plans. The hearing before Judge Colin Lawrence Sequeira continues tomorrow. The Election Commission EC will meet on October 1st to discuss the Tanjung Piai parliamentary seat by-election. This was following the death of its incumbent Datuk Dr. Muhammad Faris Muhammad Rafiq 2 days ago. The Transport Ministry said it will defer enforcement of Vehicle Entry Permit (VEP) on all outbound traffic at both Bangunan Sultan Iskandar and Complex Sultan Abu Bakar KSAB in Johor during peak hour traffic operation until further notice. In a statement today, the ministry said in addition to the existing fitment centres, or FC, it will open another FC to be located at the Road Transport Department office at the KSAB for outbound traffic. The ministry also said it hopes that with the opening of this additional FC and the deferment, all foreign vehicle owners will take this opportunity to immediately register and get the RFID tag installed to avoid any difficulties to commute in and out of Malaysia in the future. The registration for VEP was open since April this year. The government plans to set up a senior citizen activity centre known as Pusat Aktiviti Warga Emas (PAWE) in every parliamentary constituency in the country. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the move was meant to encourage active ageing among Malaysians. And the public should also support the initiatives by the government to improve the welfare of the senior citizens.
Generasi muda pula perlu diberi pendedahan tentang kepentingan membuat persediaan bagi menghadapi hari tua dan juga panduan mengenai bagaimana untuk menghargai dan menjaga warga emas. Tak mudah ya, kerana kadang warga emas ni perlukan banyak sabar kerana dia banyak songeh je sikit.
Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Aziza, who is also Women, Family and Community Development Minister, said as of now 88 such centres had been set up, benefiting 36,931 registered senior citizens. According to data from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, Malaysia will reach the status of an aged nation by 2030, with citizens aged 60 and above making up some 15% of the total population. The world's oldest travel firm, Thomas Cook, declared bankruptcy on Monday after talks with creditors failed. The British company was desperately seeking £200 million from private investors to avert collapse and has now left some 600,000 holidaymakers stranded abroad. The UK government is now forced to launch the biggest peacetime repatriation in its history. Both a tour operator and an airline, the travel giant's key destinations were in southern Europe and the Mediterranean, but it also offered holidays in Asia, North Africa and the Caribbean. As well as the grounding of its planes, Thomas Cook has been forced to shut travel agencies, leaving the group's 22,000 global employees, 9,000 of whom are in Britain, out of a job. With the company in paralysis, there have even been claims of cabin crew being left stranded and even turfed out of hotels. After the announcement, the UK government launched an operation, the biggest ever during peacetime, to bring more than 150,000 British tourists home. Describing the repatriation plan, British Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said dozens of charter planes from as far afield as Malaysia has been hired to fly customers home free of charge. Many tourists expressed frustration with the lack of detail on social media.
What's the problem?
The problem is that we was given this letter last night to say that we should pay this amount of money, which translates to about £1,800, which is a lot more than the holiday cost.
We fly out tonight, so we still don't know the situation, whether we're going to be able to make our flights. Basically, it's kind of blackmail. If you pay it, you don't leave.
The collapse of Thomas Cook began in 1841 with a one-day train excursion in England and then grew into a huge operation expanding to 16 countries. It fell into massive debt despite recent annual turnover of £10 billion from transporting about 20 million customers worldwide. The European auto industry on Monday warned of catastrophic effects of a no-deal Brexit, saying it would have a seismic impact on making cars in Europe. Automobile giants BMW, Peugeot, PSA and Japan's Nissan were part of those who were concerned as they own factories in the UK. In a rare joint statement, cities from 23 auto business associations across Europe joined forces to caution against a brutal exit from the bloc by Britain. Car makers are also slamming the brakes on investment in Britain, which fell 70% to £90 million in the 6 months to June. The Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders also warned that the cost to auto companies of 1 minute of stop production time in the UK would total about £50,000 on top of the impact to 13.8 million people in the EU, including Britain, or 6.1% of the workforce. EU trade deals with 30 countries would also be affected. Welcome back. One person is dead while a number of school students were reportedly injured after fresh protests broke out in Wamena in Indonesia's Papua region on Monday. Media reports say buildings were set ablaze and gunfire ensued as security forces battled to restore order in the area. Aerial footage shows smoke billowing high from the burning buildings. The chaos occurred after hundreds of senior high school students in the city behaved violently and set some facilities, including the Jaya Wijaya Region's office, on fire. While students fled tear gas fired by police, some other residents reportedly took shelter at the police headquarters. The Wamena airport was also forced to halt its operations due to the violence. Protests broke out in recent weeks following the use of racist slurs and an attack against Papuan students in August, which triggered massive protests. The clashes had died down in recent days before it flared up again on Monday.
Ada bikin aksi, jadi sementara di Wamena situasi.
The Election Commission EC will meet on October 1st to discuss the Tanjung PI parliamentary seat by-election. This was following the death of its incumbent Datuk Dr. Muhammad Farid Muhammad Rafiq 2 days ago. In a statement, EC Secretary Datuk Muhammad Ilyas Abu Bakar confirmed the Commission has been formally notified of the vacancy by the Dewan Rakyat today. He said, in relation to this, the EC will hold a special meeting at 10 a.m. on October 1st. The meeting, to be chaired by EC Chairman Datuk Azhar Azizan Harun, will discuss key dates such as the election writ, nomination day, polling day and the voter register to be used, as well as other preparations for the poll. A media conference will be held after the meeting to announce the dates. In the 14th general election, the late Datuk Dr. Muhammad Farid of Bersatu won the seat with a 524 vote majority, having garnered 21,255 votes against Barisan Nasional's Wee Jack Seng's 20,731 votes, while PAS's Nordin Othman received 2,962 votes. The 42-year-old Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, who is also Tanjung PI Bersatu Deputy Chief, died on Saturday from a heart attack. Meanwhile, a bid by Riza Shahriz Abdulaziz to transfer his money laundering case to the Kuala Lumpur High Court from the Sessions Court was quashed by the High Court Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali today. Before dismissing the application, the judge ruled that the Sessions Court is more than competent to handle the case. He added that the lower court judges are able to deal with any complexities of the case and also pointed out that the accused has failed to show in his application how the trial at the Sessions Court would not result in a fair and objective trial. Riza, the stepson of former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak, is facing 5 money laundering charges involving 1.18 billion ringgit, allegedly misappropriated from 1MDB. The trial dates at the Sessions Court for the case were fixed from January the 6th to 14th next year. On to the 3 million ringgit corruption trial involving former Felda chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Isa Abdul Samad. The same court dismissed the prosecution's application to postpone the trial, which had been earlier fixed for October 7th. In its application, the prosecution had said that the lead prosecutor Datuk Sri Gopal Sri Ram is occupied with the ongoing 1MDB trial. However, Muhammad Nazlan in his decision said that the reason stated by the prosecution team is truly unnecessary and unjustified as there is still enough time for the prosecution to prepare the case. The trial is to run until October 25th. At the Shah Alam Sessions Court, former Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's 50 million ringgit bribery case involving the overseas visa VLN system will be heard at the High Court. The court was also told that the case, which contains 40 charges of bribery, will be filed by the prosecution after 1 month. Counsel Datuk Ahmad Zaidi Zainal, who represented Datuk Sri Zahid, informed the matter to the court during proceedings today. Deputy Public Prosecutor Gan Peng Kun also informed the court that there were over 500 documents being prepared to be handed over to the defence. Judge Rosila Saleh set October 25th for management of the case. Bursa Malaysia settled lower today, mirroring Asian market movements as investors awaited the latest developments on the US-China trade negotiations. The FBM KLCI dropped 4.5 points to 1,592.9 points, dragged down mainly by Petronas Chemicals, Sime Darby Plantation and Maxis. On to stocks to watch. Ajinomoto Malaysia Berhad sees a promising growth outlook backed by a surge in exports of its halal products to the Middle East and Asian region. The stock also continues to look attractive due to its undemanding valuations within the F&B staple space. Next, Chemical Company of Malaysia Berhad CCM is poised to benefit from the increased oil and gas activities in the second half of this year. This is in view of Petronas' CAPEX spending, which is expected to ramp up by year-end, premising on its unchanged budget of 50 billion ringgit. Moving on, MISC Berhad is shifting its portfolio more towards term charters in a bid to limit exposure to the fluctuations of the spot market. The firm also boasts a stable dividend yield of circa 4%, which is one of the better ones among FBM KLCI constituent stocks. The Prime Minister today said that there are too many smart city players working in silos, thus hindering the smart city development as a whole. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said to overcome the issue, the Housing and Local Government Ministry has introduced the Malaysia Smart City Framework. He said the emphasis towards turning Malaysian cities into smart cities would be one of the highlights in the 12th Malaysia Plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this comprehensive framework comprises all three tiers of government, as well as private sector participation to streamline and coordinate smart cities development in Malaysia. This is also to ensure a more informed guideline and decision-making by the government, which takes into consideration views from all the relevant stakeholders.
Also, we only welcome.
The Premier also said public transportation is one of the major concerns of Malaysians that need to be dealt with. There is a need to deploy digital city solutions to develop functional, resilient and efficient mobility system. For the record, Selangor and Penang are two states to implement smart cities, while Kota Kinabalu, Kuching, Kuala Lumpur, Iskandar Johor and Kulim are the cities under development. Now let's roll on over to Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. While Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand are suffering severely from the recent toxic haze, Jambi, a province in central Sumatra, is facing blood-red skies, recording an AQI level of a staggering 763, which is way above the highest danger level at 300. The videos and images of toxic orange skies circulating over the weekend show just how severe the situation is there.
Reports of the red sky phenomenon were centered around the Regency of Muaro, Jambi. Based on footage posted online, the surrounding almost seems extraterrestrial, much like Mars. Now, Indonesia's Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency says the alarmingly red environment is due to numerous hotspots and extremely thick smoke distribution. Due to the high concentrations of particulate matter of 10 detected in the atmosphere, a Rayleigh scattering effect is produced. This means that the high density of micro and nanoparticles in the air around Muaro, Jambi is filtering out the sunlight's shorter wavelengths, while allowing through longer wavelengths in the orange and red spectrum, causing the whole area appear dark and red. The agency also explained that satellite images of the area appeared white instead of the normal healthy brown due to the extremely thick smoke. This is likely because of land or forest fires occurring in the area, especially on peatlands. Well, authorities may be doing their best to fight the haze in Jambi, so let's just hope for the safety of residents there.
Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. I'm Helena Krishnamurthy. Thanks for watching and have a good night.